talk to me about Defensive Player of the Year contender Draymond Green, because he talked about it yesterday. It's like, I want to win that award. And once Wemby went down, it was kind of up for grabs. And as much as he was talking about how the analytics and the media is driving this narrative of, you got to look at the box score. If you don't have steals and blocks, you're not going to win the award. It's about everything else that you're doing, how you're covering for guys, how your defense allows people to take risks and you're covering for them. And he's right. But he's also discounting the fact that he's averaging over 2 steals and a block a game since Wemby went down. He's one of the only players that's doing that in the league. So as much as Draymond wants to talk about, y'all need to look at everything else, he has the stats to back it up.
No, he does. I mean, look, they're 15-3 now with Jimmy Butler, 15-2 when he sits up, right? And then you get Draymond Green, who seems to be reinvigorated as well. And I think offensively, he's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, last night he scored 3 points against Milwaukee, but his defense on Giannis Antetokounmpo, he held Giannis basically scoreless when he was guarding him. Giannis was 0 for 6 when guarded by Draymond Green in over 7 minutes of action. And I thought the first possession of the game set a tone for the game. Draymond had 3 block shots in the first quarter. First possession of the game, Giannis tries to get to the rack. He gets a switch on a pick and roll. Draymond, top blocks him and just follows him. Giannis gets deep in the paint. Block shot, Draymond Green, right? First possession of the game. Next possession, very next possession. Giannis is only shooting 18% from the three-point line. Now, he doesn't take a high volume of threes. I think last night he entered the game attempting only 45 threes. Well, he attempted one last night, and it was a brick. And Draymond Green lured him into taking that 3-point shot. Yeah. So later on, it just became a defensive masterclass. The switching, the help defense, 4 block shots again, the communication on that back line next to Jimmy Butler. He's putting on a masterclass right now. And he stepped this game up. And he sees the finish line here with that DPOY and the all-defensive team. He really wants that award. And so you have to play 65 games to qualify. He's at 55 games right now. So, yes, his defense. And look, he needed a bounce back because I know Draymond Green. The guy's prideful. The guy cannot stand when somebody scores against him or scores around him. And you think about the previous 2 games. We know about him and Catman Duke, Karl-Anthony Towns. Well, Karl-Anthony Towns had a hell of a game, and Draymond acknowledged that after that Knicks game Saturday night. Karl-Anthony Towns had 29-12, 29-13, monster double-double. First possession of the game, he pump fakes Draymond Green, goes in for a 2-hand slam. You know Draymond was ticked about that. And then you get to Denver, where Aaron Gordon played bully ball against the Warriors front line and scored 38, which is his high for the Denver Nuggets. You know Draymond Green was seething. And so with Giannis coming to town, it was like, whoa, we got another big here, a guy who's averaging over 30 and 12, shooting 60% from the floor. And you know what? Draymond Green took the assignment. That was old school basketball right there. Because, a lot of times, Titus, we see these guys who are great defensive players, and they may not guard the top offensive player. Back in the day, we see that all the time. It was like, look, top offensive scorer, I'm going to put my best defensive player on there, and we're going to cut his water off. Well, last night, we saw it right at the tip. Draymond Green took the assignment. I've got Giannis, the 2-time MVP, the former DPOY, and I'm going to take him out of this basketball game. And as you know, Giannis goes 5-16, scores his 20, but really was ineffective last night for the Bucks. So, yeah, Draymond Green has stepped his game up in a tremendous way. He's still playing at a very high level at the age of 35. And then that's why the Warriors have a puncher's chance in the Western Conference to really wreck shop in the postseason. So when you get Draymond Green playing defense like that, and he's communicating and he's sparking signals back and forth, yeah, he's playing at a high level, and he's put himself in the conversation for the DPOY this
And that's
season.
what I was just going to ask. Like, you think that they do have a puncher's chance. And when you talk about, Steph being rested, playing at an all-NBA level, Draymond Green playing at an all-defensive team level, first team, as well as DPOY, you have a connector and a guy that just fits in with all the chemistry like Jimmy Butler. But it's everything else that's also clicking for the Warriors. They have Brandon Pajemski back, comes back with 17.7 rebounds. The way that he can play off ball, he does all of the hustle plays that you need. But also Moses Moody has just been a revelation for this team. When you look at Gary Payton II, the way that they just switched off on Damian Lillard, giving him hell all last night. It's like this team just seems like there's something shifted in this team once Jimmy Butler got there. It's infectious. And now you're seeing the value of from the top to, the 8th man. Quentin Post has provided such another varying aspect of how they can play basketball with that stretch big and then also convert in the half court. Is this the scariest team in the Western Conference right now?
Wow, that's a great question. Because there's a lot of good teams playing well
Yeah.
right now in the Western Conference. Minnesota's starting to surge. Clippers with an impressive win over the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Kawhi looks healthy, and that's a scary proposition. The Lakers with Luka Doncic, have you seen what they've done? I mean,
we'll talk about it.
I know we'll talk about them. And then you get Oklahoma City. And I don't know why. It's just very strange to me that OKC is getting disrespected where you hear things, hey, we want to play OKC. Are you sure about that? I'll watch them on Sunday without Lou Dort and Jalen Williams and go into Milwaukee and smack them up with no problem, right? I mean, seriously. So they're playing well. And then Denver's the wild card because I think Aaron Gordon is not only an X factor for the Denver Nuggets, he could be the X factor in the entire Western Conference. We know what the Joker's going to do. And Jamal Murray, like Jimmy Butler, takes his game to another level in the postseason. Right. He becomes a cold-blooded killer, man. It was like, wow, this guy goes from 21 a game to damn near 28 a game, it feels like, in the playoffs. And he hits game winners after game winners, and he's there running the pick and roll with Jokic down the stretch. So, look, you've got a lot of good teams here. Are the Warriors the scariest? I don't know if they're the scariest. They're a scary team, but you could say that about 6 other teams out west right now. So it really is going to depend on matchups in these playoffs. And usually it does. But I think more so this season than any other season where the matchups are going to be really fascinating to see in the first and second round of the playoffs. So you got a lot of scary teams out there. And I'm not ducking the smoke here when it comes to the Warriors. But there's a lot of, like Denver, the way they came into Chase Center without Jokic and without Jamal Murray, without Christian Brown. You got to remember, they beat the Warriors in 9 straight regular season matchups. So to me, Denver's still scary, even though everybody's still writing them off. And you still got the OKC 30, you still got LeBron and Luka. So I'm not sure the Warriors are the scariest team. They're scary, but you can make the conversation for 5 other teams out west right now.
Yeah, it's just crazy in the Western Conference with just, the West is what 1 game separates 2 through 5 right now. So there's going to be a lot of fluctuation over the last course of the last, handful of games in this season.